I was familiar with the series. I mean, I knew of the books, and they'd been on my list for a while. I started reading them during the audition process, and at this point, I'm almost finished. Um, they're fantastic. I've always been a huge fan of these books. You know, Cassie has created this world in such a way that's it's so rich, and all the characters have so much to bring to a story like this and to a television interpretation. And the way Cassie writes, she writes with such romanticism and such beauty, and really creates the world in a three-dimensional way that it's lovely to be able to bring it to screen. We have quite a bit of mythology that we've had to learn for this show, and that's been part of the fun of it, honestly. We've had such a great time figuring things out and clarifying all the rules and, you know, creating this world for ourselves. But we've actually relied quite a bit upon the Shadowhunters Codex, which is a book that Cassie and her husband wrote to help people who are reading the books kind of explain the world. We actually have a copy in the hair and makeup trailer that we'll flip through and refer to when we get a new script and try and sort through what it is. Obviously, the rules in some situations are a little different on our show for the, you know, the magic of television. We had to change a few things, but it's still the same basic concept, and it's been fascinating to jump into this world. I've always been a huge fan of mythology, and it's, you know, what another wonderful world of it. When we first meet Clary in the series, she is living her life. She is a normal art student in Brooklyn, starting, you know, at the Brooklyn Academy of Art. She's ready to take on the world. She is headstrong, she's confident, she knows her stuff, she knows what she wants to do. She has her best friend Simon, who goes to NYU for accounting. She has her mother who's raised her, who's, you know, given her this strength and inner confidence, and she's ready to take on the world. But within the first 20 minutes of the pilot, her entire world is ripped out from underneath her, and everything comes crashing down, and suddenly she has to find herself rising from the ashes and starting over. We've had quite a bit of training for this show, but that's been part of our kind of cast bonding experience, if you will. You know, we've all been trying to eat right and stay fit, and we've had, not only do we have physical training in the gym a couple times a week, or as much as we can with our shooting schedule, we've been doing weapons training with swords and knives and bow and arrow and bow staffs and different, you know, all manner of demon slaying implements. And then we also started gymnastics training as well to learn how to do stunts and add flips and tricks and other interesting elements into our world. Everything for the show is so well done, and that's something that's been, I mean, this is a dream job for me in every sense, but something that's made it even more so is that every single person in every department is so impassioned about this project, and they all really care about it, and they love what they're doing, and they care about the show, and they believe in the show, and they really are doing everything they can to make it the best world possible, and it shows on screen, and everyone's work is just fantastic, from the werewolves to the vampires to the Silent Brothers to the demons to the Seeleys to everything in between. We have so many moments that are just absolutely shocking, and I mean, there's so many that I can't reveal to you that I want to talk about, but gosh, nothing is how you'd imagine it. Everything's even 10 notches higher. You know, even for example, when we get a fresh rune, because the runes are, you know, the marks that give us our powers, and they are when they're freshly cut into your skin, it's like a brand or a slice. And it's very, very painful. And something as simple as that, even when we have scenes, you know, there's a silicone piece that goes on that's painted, and, you know, they put all of the magic stuff they have on it to make it look absolutely disgusting and angry and raw and really painful. And even something as simple as that, those little details are really what are going to make the show something special. I am really, really fond of the relationship between Clary and Isabelle, because it's not the stereotypical relationship between two girls on a television show. Most of the time when you have two girls on a television show, you have the one that's already established, and then the new girl comes in, one girl's mean to the other girl, and then they have the cat fight. That doesn't happen on our show. Clary and Isabelle are automatically bonded in a way. You know, Isabelle sees Clary as this new perplexing creature and becomes sort of a little sister, and Clary sees Isabelle as this fierce, beautiful warrior who is sort of an inspiration to her. You know, Isabelle is so much more confident in her sexuality and in the way that she uses that as an advantage and as another weapon in her arsenal. And that's something that Clary never thought about and isn't super comfortable with. And so seeing that is really fascinating to her and something that she really looks up to. The relationship between Clary and Alec is actually very similar to their relationship in the book. There's so much tension there, and it's a very frustrating relationship for both of them. You know, Alec is so close to Jace and hates seeing him pull away from him, but then, you know, he understands that he has to do what he has to do, but also Alec, you know, sees Clary as this little girl and as this nuisance, but Clary knows she has good ideas, and she understands, you know, his conflict, but wants to be heard. If I had to choose a different character to play, it would, without a doubt, be Magnus Bane. I think all of us secretly want to be Magnus Bane. I'm not sure if it's because Harry Shum plays him so brilliantly and makes him seem so much fun to play, but there's something about being a warlock and being able to have all this knowledge and these powers and live in any time period and, you know, go from place to place with the snap of your fingers. And there's a mystery and a romance to being a warlock that's quite intriguing.